Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Hopefully this mic is on. Did I put it in a bizarre place? I did. There you go. This is professional. Okay. Hello everyone and welcome back to this TV show where I go on an unhinged ramble about art and life and my life and my art, etc. I am by a beach, and the reason I'm by a beach is because I am working on a project and I'm looking for locations to film that project. So the project is called Surroundings, and it's me going out somewhere, playing really sparse, really minimal music on an instrument and recording a video of it, and then seeing how that interacts with a sound environment of some kind. And I'm playing from this score that I have made. It's called Repository of Dreams 1, and it's a score that I've made from after writing some very simple little melodies by hand for some time now. I have really enjoyed just going out with a sheet music pad and a pen and just sitting somewhere and just using like a small keyboard on my phone, whatever, some kind of instrument to be able to hear the notes that I'm playing. So with that setup, I've been going out for the past few years in the sunshine, sitting on a bench, maybe drinking a coffee or something, and just composing little melodies and little things that I then play very slowly on an instrument. It's a very wholesome practice for me. It feels really nice. But after doing that for a couple of years, I just tried to sort of abstract the things that I like into some rules and use those rules to basically generate endless variations of those movements and patterns that I like in those melodies. So that's what this score is. This version is, I think, 120 pages or so of these kinds of melodies that I have composed using a programming language, Super Collider, and having that output another programming language called Lillipond. Lillipond is text-based interface, you could say, for creating sheet music. And it's, in my opinion, quite difficult to use directly, but maybe that's just because I'm not very used to it. But it's very cool. So you can turn text into sheet music in a fairly simple way with Lillipond. So that's nice. But anyway, so I abstracted the rules that I liked into this piece of sheet music. And for me, it's the beginning of, I think, a work process where I do more of this generative sheet music. I think there's something very interesting about this very computer music and sort of like generative approach, and just adding a very human layer to it. And it's not that there's a contrast between the two, but I do think there is a really interesting setup there. I don't like this ridiculous contrast of like the human being versus the machine, etc. It's not about that. For me, having things like this score is so simple that, why would you even need a score? You might almost ask. And for me, when I perform this score and perform from it, I can completely focus on listening while I'm playing, and it really helps a lot to just have a score. The only problem I've encountered is that I play this so slowly that I sometimes lose track of where I am. in which specific measure as well. But that's the only problem. But other than that, I find it really relaxing. So for me, recording these pieces is very, very meditative. And I do not use that word lightly. It is very meditative. So I don't have to think about who I am, what my intentions are, and what would the next note be if I wanted to do this or that. It's already here. So I can kind of like switch off that part of my brain and just go into a mode where I listen while I play. Because playing this is just as much about listening as it is about playing. And it's actually been a while since I made this score. And I'm really happy to finally play from it. And the project is called Surroundings, and I've already made a page for it on my website. I overhauled my whole website, so now it has like a long-term projects sub-site where I try to track some of the long-term projects that I've made. And it feels really good to have that, to be able to divide between like single projects and then sort of these like umbrella projects, like X-Formal Records, for example. Yeah, so I'm really happy about that, really excited about trying that and filming those episodes here by the beach, hopefully. Apparently there's some torrential rain incoming. Bad timing, maybe, but let's see if I can squeeze it in between some rain clouds, the recording process. Yeah, let's see what else is on the menu here. I did write a little menu here, so you know, it's not completely unscripted, but it's almost unscripted. Yeah, and you'll have to excuse me, my skin is shedding a little bit. I think there's something symbolic in that. I got a little bit of a sunburn the other day, and let's be honest, I'm running this TV show with a bare bones crew, and at the moment we don't have a makeup artist or a dermatologist on set, but who knows? If we can keep this up, if we can keep this explosive growth in subscribers going, then maybe someday. But until then, you'll have to live with this disheveled look of mine. I played a concert recently with my friend Jose Orozco Mora this week, in fact. I think. Yeah, it was this week. We played in a bookstore called Super in Copenhagen, and it was really, really lovely. It was a very one of those evenings that had a very heavy community feeling, I would say, and that's the best. Where of course the music is important and the sounds are important, but it's just as much about coming together and having that feeling of coming together as a community. So there was a lot of people there that I didn't know, and a lot of wonderful new people I got to meet. And Jose played a really amazing concert with modular synthesizers and acoustic instruments, and some homemade acoustic instruments as well. That was just super cool. I got to present my live in the Quiet Zone project, which is coming out on X-Formal Records soon. This is the project that I've made where I've recorded sounds in the Quiet Zone compartments in the trains here, and written notes about it, and wrote some kind of like essays. And so I presented that. That was kind of, it felt like it was kind of successful. People could see the humor in it, and they seemed to appreciate it. I did make the mistake of playing the piece by stumbling into a slightly long, slightly rambly, who could imagine, slightly rambly discussion of silence in avant-garde music. And I wanted to do it very quickly, and that was a mistake, but hopefully people found some amusement in it anyway. But yeah, I'm happy about that. Hopefully I get to do some projects in Mexico and with some people in Mexico in the future. We've been talking about that, me and Jose. So if you're out there, you're in Mexico and you want to do a collaboration, do some art, or I could do an art show, or play some music, make some performances, compose some music, or teach some workshops or whatever, let me know, because I'm starting to gear up to the idea of going to Mexico. I've been wanting to go for many years now, and I have a lot of good reasons to go now. I've had that for many years, but anyways, I'd like to go there. So if you're out there and you have connections and you want to do something, let me know. Yeah, and today I took the ferry here to this beachy area, and on the ferry I got to finally gather some notes about my project Haptic Fields, which is one of those long-term projects I added to my website today, so you can go and read about that if you want. So it's like an umbrella project where I'm doing sub-projects in between, or organized underneath this umbrella, I guess, around the idea of vibrations in materials and sort of like speculations about what we can do with that. And my recent exhibition at Notam, where Moans and Groans is what it's called, is the first installment in that long-term project. And I have applied for money for the next installments. So what I did at Notam for Moans and Groans was I recorded vibrations in trees, the vibrations of the wind, well, the vibrations caused by the wind in the trees, and I recorded those with a geophone, and then I recreated them in vibration motors using some electronics that I designed. So that was a lot of fun. I hope I get to exhibit it again, because I learned so much from exhibiting this at Notam. I learned a lot from all the mistakes that I made. So it would be cool to do it again and fix some of those mistakes and optimize some parts of the experience. I think, so what I did was I had the vibration motors attached to some twigs. Those twigs the audience would then hold, and through them they would experience the wind in the trees. And that part I think was quite successful. But then I think one of the mistakes I made was next to each twig you could put on a pair of headphones, and the headphones would play back the sounds that were also vibrating in the twig. And this was done using this custom electronics that I designed that would translate the audio into vibration motor signals. But the problem with that, I realized, and I have realized, is that people will listen to the sounds and feel the vibrations and constantly like check back and forth between the two experiences, seeing like how does one correspond to the other. And that kind of leads you to miss the point of the piece, I think. So I think that was a mistake of me to add headphones. I think I should have just had straight up vibrations. And this was also actually the original idea. I wanted to do like a soundless sound art installation, just using these haptic feedback. But I don't know what came over me. I got excited and I added the headphones. It's not catastrophic, but that's definitely something I want to change in the future. So next time I'm going to exhibit that, I'm going to remove the headphones, and then instead I think I'm going to have like a big chunk of tree, a cross section of a tree, and I'm going to add a contact speaker to that, or a transducer, and play some of the sounds through that. So it's kind of like separated from the branches that you hold and feel the vibrations of the wind. And yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do the next time. So if you're out there and you have a gallery space and you'd like to try this, let me know. That would be really amazing. I also learned a lot about the longevity of these vibration motors, because they seem to burn out quite quickly. I got like the Pro Audio vibration motors, and they seem to die after a week or so of use, at least this kind of use. And probably what I'm doing with them is not what they were intended to be used for. So maybe that's why. I wonder. Yeah, seems like we're still going, right? Yeah, we're still going. Yeah, so that's that. Anyways, the next chapter, I've been applying for money this week, or for the past few weeks actually. I've been writing so many funding applications, and hopefully I get to get funding for the next chapter in this, which is going to be a little bit more wild, or whatever you want to say. Because what I want to do is, I've been researching a lot about this vibration as communication in biology, and I want to use some of that knowledge and some philosophical background as well to try to investigate some like sort of more abstract ideas. So I want to create a sculpture which is an abstract scorpion is what I've been putting in. That's what I'm calling it, an abstract scorpion. So scorpions, they sense through sand, actually, apropos, the vibrations of the potential prey, and they're able to hear where they are and how far they are through the vibrations, through these legs they have with the hairs on them. And I want to use those legs to create some kind of like feedback loop in a room where I create like an abstract scorpion. It's not something that should look like a scorpion in any way, but just some of these ideas from how the scorpion experiences the world, and try to see what would happen if you lift it out of the context of the physical scorpion itself. So hopefully I'll get some money for that. You never know, but you're allowed to dream, I guess. Next up on this little menu here is I got a commission, which makes me so happy. I cannot express how happy I am to get a commission. It's not often it happens, but when it does, it makes me truly happy and very inspired. So I got a commission to go to have a piece as part of the Aggregate Festival in Berlin in September. The festival is organized by someone called Gamut. I saw them play at the Organ Sound Art Festival in Copenhagen, I think 2023 maybe 24, maybe 23, probably 23. And they have this robot or whatever to mechanize church organs or pipe organs. And I saw them there a few years ago, and I never got to talk to the people behind, but I listened to it and I thought, oh my God, this would be so much fun to compose a piece for this kind of robot that would mechanize a pipe organ. Then, you know, thanks to the magic of the universe, I guess they reached out to me some months ago and asked me to make a piece for this exact robot in Berlin in September 2025. So I'm coming to Berlin in the middle of September. Let me know if you're around. Let me know if you want to do some stuff while I'm there. I haven't planned the trip yet, but I'm starting to have a plan ready, and I'd like to teach some workshops and do some talks or whatever while I'm there, and hang out. So if you want to hang out or any of these things, also let me know. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. So for now, the idea is I want to compose a piece that is a celebration of life, inspired by the way mycelium grows. So that's like the networks of roots in between fungi. So I've been researching how that works, and I've been looking at contemporary research, and I'm going to transform that into a composition. I have a vague idea of how I want to do that, but we'll see how I actually end up doing it. But that's the idea for now, and of course that's just an idea and it will probably change along the way, but I've been looking at the latest research, and yeah, as I said, I have some really cool ideas from that. It's generally, you know, science. It's very inspiring, and especially biology. Biologists are doing some cool shit, I have to say. And that leads me to the last piece on my menu for today, which is I am leaving Denmark for a while. So the next time I'm filming this, I'm probably filming it somewhere else. So I'm moving to the Pyrenees in France. So that's the mountain range between Spain and France. I'm gonna live there over the summer. Yeah, I'm excited about that. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of walking in the mountains, hiking, and doing field recordings, writing, and taking pictures and thinking. So yeah, that's exciting. Next time you'll see this, next rambling, unhinged vlog will be in a mountain in France, probably. Yeah. I had some questions from some of the. So by the way, I'm really happy to get emails with feedback about this show, and I've gotten some really amazing feedback. People are using this as the background while they're doing the dishes. So this is like the background music or sound or whatever, and I think that's lovely. That's for me, that's ideal. It's the ultimate goal of my art practice, I guess, to be the background sound of someone doing the dishes. So if you're doing the dishes while listening to this, then I salute you. Thank you so much. And I've been getting emails about some of the earlier videos. People are getting interested in the books that I have mentioned, and that's really amazing. And I think I'm going to talk more about books and literature in future episodes. So if that's something you'd like to hear about, leave a comment below, or if you have any questions or ideas for stuff you would like to see here, then also leave a comment below or send me an email. Also, just generally, if you have any questions, shoot them and I will try to answer them here. I had some questions in between this episode and the last one, and one of them was why I was using Super Collider. So Super Collider is a programming environment and programming language for sound and music, and I've been using it for many years for many different things, among which this thing, this score was made with Super Collider. And why am I using it today? Well, that's maybe a slightly complicated question. Probably because I'm used to it and it's easy for me to use, and it's easy for me to execute ideas and have things done in it. But the original reason I got into it was because I have been using DAWs and stuff like Fruity Loops since I was, well, I guess, I don't know, 11 or 12 years old. So it's many, many years now. And I heard about Super Collider, I think maybe 8 or 9 years ago, maybe, I don't know, something like this. And what I was really interested in was escaping the linearity of these DAWs, especially. I was sick of this idea of a piece starting and a piece ending. I wanted it to, you know, flourish and keep blooming and keep changing and keep all this. And nowadays, you get a lot of these generative ideas. They are now incorporated in a lot of DAWs like Ableton and Bitwig, so that's super nice. But 10 years ago that wasn't the case. So that was really the main reason why I started using it back then. And the joke of it all is, of course, if you try to escape linearity in music, you will quickly realize that you can't escape linearity in music or in sound, because, you know, time is a function of sound. So it has to be linear in some way. But still, using generative concepts, you can escape a very fixed form with a start and an end, even though it has to start and end at some point. I guess this score is kind of a good example of it, because this contains, melodies and harmonies that I can just keep iterating on as long as I want. So I can keep generating more versions of this, and every time I do, it's going to change, and that's wonderful. For me, at least, that's something quite comforting about that. So yeah, but that's why I started using Super Collider, and I still think Super Collider is amazing, and I use it whenever I need something like that. Whenever I need to make something interactive or make generative music, I really prefer to use Super Collider because it's lightweight and it's quite straightforward for me because I'm used to it. But I don't know, nowadays, like if I was starting over, or if I'm talking to someone who wants to get into this sort of stuff, then I might recommend that they use plug data to begin with. It's not that I use it particularly much myself, because I'm just so used to SuperCollider and it's just so quick for me to do things there. But it's a really fantastic piece of software, and I think it is the future of this sort of computer music, or whatever you want to call it. The thing is, plug data is a wrapper around pure data, which is a very old and very solid alternative to SuperCollider. I think it's even older than SuperCollider actually. And it's a graphical programming interface made by the same people who made Macs back in the day, but it's free and open source. And then a few years ago, someone wrapped it using some tools that people use to make plugins. So with plug data, you get all of the pure data, but with a very modern, very sleek interface, and it looks so good, and it is really, really nicely made, and it's very user-friendly. And you can very easily create standalone programs from it, and you can very easily create, well, maybe not standalone per se, but standalone, well, things that seem standalone because they can run on the desktop, but also plugins. Like you can use it inside of your DAW. So I talked about before about escaping linearity and etc. in the DAW, but essentially with plug data you can turn any DAW into a generative playground, because you can just add it as a plugin, and you can take some MIDI in and transform that to spit some MIDI out, and there you have it. You have endless possibilities basically, and it's just an incredibly well-made piece of software. So yeah, recommend it. Yeah, I guess that's it. I think I'm gonna go for another little walk here by the beach, and hopefully this wasn't all too terrible. Yeah, see you around. Pax et bonum.